Thank you so much, Sonia, Charette, Lori, Felix, Hannah, and Sophie, for letting us into your life, even just for a little bit, to capture your stories. And those beautiful stories that you all just watched was done by the team of 3Lopez. And today we're actually going to turn the script on them, because they're always used to being behind the cameras and capturing the storylines, the videos, the editing, everything that you got to see today. And so with that said, I want you to give a warm welcome to Alfonso and Ivette, the co-founders of 3Lopez. So Alfonso and Ivette, welcome, welcome. Welcome to LTX Quest as panelists, as speakers, as keynotes. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. It's weird to be here in front of the camera, but we are super excited about this.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you for having us in LTX, now in front of the camera.
Yes.
Always, we are behind the camera, and it is exciting for us. And thank you for this bilingual panel, because today I'm going to speak a little Spanish because I'm more confident telling our story in Spanish.
Exacto. Y para los que están mirando, vamos a hacer un poquito las cosas diferentes y vamos a hablar en inglés y español y Spanglish, en lo que sea lo más confortable para que podamos capturar las historias de ustedes dos especialmente. Y con eso voy a hacer la pregunta en español primero y después en inglés. So today we're going to switch it up and do the Spanglish, English, and Spanish back and forth, so that way we are able to capture with more accuracy, but also the depth that sometimes gets lost in translation. So with that said, I'm going to get started with you and Alfonso en español. Dime, ¿qué es tu historia de origen? ¿Dónde creciste? ¿Quién es Alfonso cuando era un chiquito de 5 o 6 años?
Well, my father was a theatrical director. All my family are artists, musicians, actors, and my childhood was montado en un stage with the lights. Assist my father in the stage, haciendo la letra, aprendiendo a dirigir a otros actores, viendo a mi papá analizando plays, analizando all the scenes about the stories that he present in front of the public, in the theater. And that was my beginnings in the artist side. Then I studied music ¿cómo se llama? Música clásica, classical music. I studied guitar. I studied canto, canto lírico. And I canté en corales and viajé all the country in Venezuela, in Caracas, Venezuela, when I born, and all my childhood was en el escenario, con música, actuación. Luego mi hermana fue actriz de cine. And I was seeing all the cameras, lights, director, action. And was exciting for me to learn all this experience. And that was my childhood. Esa fue mi infancia, llena de música, teatro, televisión, cine. Y bueno, básicamente ese es el principio. Luego te puedo contar mucho más, pero ese fue el comienzo. That was my beginnings.
Muchas gracias, Alfonso. Ahora ya te imagino siendo más pequeño entre medio de todas las cámaras y todo. So
claro.
And so for the folks, I asked Alfonso what it was like to grow up and his origin stories, and just the impact, as you heard, that his family and his upbringing had for having him come to take this creative path. So now with Ivette, I want to know your origin story. ¿Qué es tu historia de origen? ¿Dónde naciste? ¿Quién es Ivette cuando era una niña pequeña?
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela as well. And when I was like 7 7, 8 years old. I think I started doing theater as well, studying acting because I love it. I really, really love it. But at some point, I remember that my mom said, no, this industry is too dirty for you, for a kid. I don't want you to be there. Later on in life, you will decide if you want this or not. And I said, mamá, ¿por qué? Me cortaste mi carrera de actriz. But after that, I continued to study during the in high school. I did theater always because it was my passion. I knew, you know, that when you are in high school, you usually have some counselors and people talking to you, telling you, trying to guide you towards what is going to be your career. I didn't need that. I knew 100% that I wanted to study communications, that I want to be in media, that I wanted to be in front of the camera. What I didn't know was that I was, how to say that?
Dilo en español.
No, even in Spanish, is that what I lived with my family and all the things, being like the oldest from my siblings, prepared me to be a producer because I was always in charge of the logistics of the house and everything. During some period of time, my mom was really, really sick when my youngest brother was born, and I was 10, 12 years old, and I was esa figura. I went to the school, and I was talking to the teachers because my mom couldn't do that, and my father was so busy trying to work and provide and taking care of her at the same time. So yo siempre fui como esa figura que estaba muy pendiente de todo and organizing things for my family. So I was a producer and I didn't know about that. And then, I studied art, cinematography in la Universidad Central de Venezuela. And actually there where Alfonso and I met the first day.
That was going to be my next question because I wanted to know. So I wanted to know how the Ivette and Alfonso came together, given that your backgrounds as well are of your studying and family seem to be similar, right? But I wonder what was that crossing point, and how did then this lead up to not only 3Lopez but your partnership? So cuando se conocieron, como Ivette dijo ahorita, yo quiero saber cómo se conocieron la primera vez, qué pasó y de cómo después de eso llegaron a ser 3Lopez y también ser una pareja para la gente que tal vez no sabe.
Right. Well, nos conocimos studying in the university, in the first semester of the university.
It was more than 15 years ago.
Okay, yeah. Well, the first time that Carolina saw me was fall in love. No,
to be honest, it was true. Me encantó. Yo lo vi y dije, oh, wow. Pero he had a girlfriend at that time. So time.
And I'm very serious in my relationships. And I don't see Ivette at that time, was only my friend. But I at that time was very, éramos muy diferentes, very different people. I was like a bohemian singer, hippie, and was a great producer, and was in another life.
We met in at the university, but we were in different groups because we were like 100% different from each other, and their interests and the interests that we had at the time were totally different. So years, I think like 5 years, we stay in touch, But then some years later, I think work started to connect us again because, we studied the same. We studied cinematography, but Alfonso dedicated his focus to be a director. And in the other side, I was a producer. So every director needs a producer. Any producer needs a director. So I remember that I think it was in 2012, probably, that we did our first project together. Alfonso was working.
I was directing a commercial for Oreo Fudge.
Oreo Fudge in Venezuela,
for social media. And I needed a producer, and I was looking for a producer, and I remember, okay, Ivette, where is Ivette? I need a producer. This is the right time to reach.
And I was in Panama, working in Panama, producing events. And he told me, I have this commercial from, I don't know, let's say October 15th to October 25th. And I said, okay, you're lucky. I'll be in Venezuela during those 2 weeks, so I can do it.
It was me. It was supposed to be fate. Fate wanted to bring you guys back together.
Yeah, yes. And from that day, we started working together, and we nunca más nos separamos, because it was a perfect match in life and business.
Yeah. Yo abracé a Caro así y no la dejé ir nunca más.
Literalmente. Sí, bueno, dígame la historia de, entonces se juntan y de ahí se ve que es una amistad de muchos años, pero también una relación profesional donde se respetan su arte y donde tienen una clase de complementación. Y ahora, cuando ustedes ahora piensan dónde estamos hoy y piensan cuando empezaron su primer proyecto juntos, ¿qué es lo que a ustedes les ha ayudado a tener esta relación donde se respetan como profesionales, pero al mismo tiempo son pareja? ¿Qué advice pueden dar a la gente que está escuchando, también especialmente a los estudiantes que están pensando entrar en esta carrera? ¿Qué deberían saber ellos de cómo también mantenerse su vida personal y profesional?
Claro. Así es.
When you have a partner, I think communication is key, because it is not like we have discussion, we have arguments, because sometimes Alfonso thinks that we need to do things in one way, and my vision is totally different. Okay, so how are we doing this? So first, as you mentioned, respect for the other, the partner that you have, and then communication, and try to understand what is his point of view, what is mine, and how we came together, how we can find that middle point and make a win-win for both parts. And I think the same thing applies to any partner that you have in life, any partnership, any clients that you have, how to find that win-win for both parties, okay? And patience, because this is it's always a learning. Todos los días estamos aprendiendo algo nuevo from each other. And yes, we are different, very, very different. And I think that's good. That's perfect, because we complement each other. Alfonso takes things like in a slower way. And I'm always, let's do this, let's do this. No, let's do it. And okay, we used to say that en español, si fuésemos un carro, yo soy el motor que pone a andar el carro, que lo tiene andando, y él es el wheel que le da la dirección.
Yeah.
We used to see ourselves that way.
At the beginning, we realized that we were very alpha. Éramos como alpha, both were alpha. And y chocamos. At the beginning was a tough moment Because, nada, cada uno tenía una visión. Pero cuando eso está muy bien, y creo que lo importante fue saber que teníamos una gran oportunidad de complementarnos, pero había que trabajar algo dentro, ¿no? Teníamos que realmente trabajar nuestros egos, nuestros emotions, our feelings, because teníamos una gran oportunidad de crecimiento, pero si no nos alineábamos, ¿no? Tanto en lo profesional como en lo emocional o en lo sentimental, 3 years later se acababa la historia. Entonces, realmente fue día a día, we are learning how to manage our feelings, our egos, cómo confiar. Por ejemplo, al principio, cada cual era controlábamos mucho, éramos controladores. Carolina y Anay sabíamos de todo lo controlábamos. Y el primer paso fue confiar. Confiar en Carolina, en saber todo lo que ella haga está bien. Ella es very professional, es muy exigente, es muy detallista. Exacto. Pero tuve que aprender a confiar, ¿no? Es decir, ya yo dejé de preguntarle todo. Ajá, y esto, ¿no? Y poco a poco comencé a confiar, y eso ayudó justamente como me puse en tus manos, en manos de Carolina, y ella comenzó a hacer su trabajo y lo hace muy bien. Y ella comenzó a confiar en mí y no controlarme, y me dio la libertad de yo hacer mi trabajo. Cuando conseguimos ese punto de confianza de cada uno, donde yo sé que ella está haciendo lo mejor y ella sabe que yo estoy haciendo lo mejor, creo que ese fue un momento donde nos alineamos como couple, como compañía, en nuestra cultura, y eso creo que no solo ha sido importante para nuestra relación, sino con el team de 3Lopez, saber que cada quien está haciendo su trabajo. Of course, we need to have a talented people in our company, but when you trust in them, tú sabes que ellos están haciendo su trabajo y confiamos en ellos, e inclusive dejamos, y eso fue otro aprendizaje, cometer errores, ¿no? Yo dejo que Carolina
that is the way they can learn.
Cometa errores sin ¿cómo se llama? Sin criticar, sino, ok, se cometió el error, ella me deja cometer errores sin criticar, y constantemente we are learning and pivot and learning every day about the
that's so beautiful.
And I think that is really important, Lily, because in our case, we study art. We didn't study business. So for us, it was a very important lesson, not only for us as a couple, as a partners, but also as a business leaders, as the leaders of a group. Because if at the end of the day, if we wanted to grow, if we wanted to grow, we need to add more people, not only 3Lopez. We needed like 15 Lopez, 20 Lopez, I don't know how many people. So when you grow, you need to learn how to empower people, how to help them learn and grow. And the only way to do that is trusting them and delegating things. So if you trust them, you are giving them the chance to learn and to be empowered, and that's the only thing. And yeah, and fail.
Yeah, definitely.
That is important in the process.
And that's why I wanted to ask that question, because about your relationship as a couple, as business partners, as creatives, because a lot of these things for some of the folks who may be watching, they may be entrepreneurs, right? But when you're getting your co-founder, it's very similar to dating, where you're bringing in your first hire. It's pretty much being able to have these types of relationships. And one of the things that we wanted to do with LTX Quest was also be able to acknowledge all of our culturals, but also some of those tendencies, like what you were saying, Alfonso. Sometimes in some families, we grew up not being allowed to make a mistake, right? Like sometimes you were scared to try new things because you know that your mom or your friends or somebody was going to say something. In other places, in other families, other folks got a chance to be able to have way more open and have more creativity. And so sometimes when you're building teams, right, people are coming from different angles. But at the end of the day, it's really about relationship. And so that's why I wanted folks who are watching to get behind the scenes and understand, what are the nuances between being a partner, being a professional, but also being an individual. So with that said, I wanted to also have folks understand the professional challenges and growth that you've all have gone as well through 3Lopez. As you immigrated from Venezuela and you came to the US, if you can share a little bit about what that journey was. And also when you first came, what was that project that made you just like sparked and said like, this is what we're going to do. This is what, especially being in the US as immigrants, what was that moment that you were like, this is our moment. We're going to get this right. And we're going to be able to succeed.
Well, in 2014, I think we started to see that, okay, Venezuela is not a place to grow. Unfortunately, our country is going through very difficult times. I think right now we are the second nation, the second country with the biggest number of refugees around the world. We decided to emigrate, and we thought about United States because Alfonso's sisters was here. At that moment, we were 3Lopez because 1, 2, and she was the third one. She was an actor.
That's the extra 3Lopez. Now I know.
Yes, at the beginning. Actually, we came here to do a project with her, a theatrical play that Alfonso wrote and directed. She performed and I produced. That was the first project. It was a true life story about immigration. It was based on a political scandal that was in San Francisco in 2012. But at the end of the day, it's a human story. It's an immigrant story, and that was the first project. And we did 3 seasons in San Francisco. We went to New York, San Diego, LA, North Carolina, and what else? I think those were like the most important cities that we visited. And then we were like, living the dream of doing theater because we love that. We love art. And we started doing also more teatro en español. We did produce and direct, Alfonso direct, Monólogos de la Vagina en español. In San Francisco, we were doing like film screening of películas en español. But at some point we realized that being an independent artist in America is a little bit challenging. And afortunadamente, we never stopped doing video because the way we created the play, that first project, we include audiovisual material. The sponsors that we got were like local businesses, and we produced videos for them to have, like, when you go to the movies and you have the trailers and commercials before the actual movie. We did exactly the same, but with our play. So most of the time you don't see that in theater. So people were, wow, you did this and you did that. We did a bilingual play that in theater, one more time, that is not usual. So that opened up many doors to start like getting our first clients in the video and websites as well. At that time, I remember that we had a website with a video banner that it wasn't popular. And I remember receiving a call from someone, I want a website like yours. Can you do that for me? Yes, of course. Let's do it. No, go ahead.
No, but it wasn't a really good moment when I was talking with a Stanford University professor that I asked him how to live with the arts, cómo vivir del arte, and how to cómo hacer profitable the art, because we want to grow. We are not no queremos solamente ser artistas, pero que
don't want to be a broken artist.
Que no pueden comprarse una casa. Cómo crecer. And I remember that professor said us, well, as an artist, you have a sensitive, you have a lot of skills that the other people maybe not. And if you put your talent to help others, I'm sure ustedes van a poder crecer. Si, por ejemplo, si hay emprendedores, compañías, organizaciones que quieren contar sus historias, pero no saben cómo, no saben cómo hablar, no saben cómo comunicar, no saben cómo crear una historia, pero ustedes sí. Entonces, mientras más personas ustedes ayuden as an artist to help others to grow, to communicate, to tell their stories, in that moment, you begin to grow. And that was life-changing for us, because at that moment, we were only artists. But
for some reason, we ended up at the Stanford Business School, the business school at Stanford, doing a Latino entrepreneurship program. And that was the person who told Alfonso that was the Professor Jerry Porras, the founder of that program. And definitely it was a life-changing experience for us. Not only working with them and learning from old entrepreneurs, but then being able to be part of that program as well was like, wow, this is something different. And I think that was a moment where we realized, yes, we have a talent, we have a gift. And what if we use that to help more people, not only to do that art for the sake of art, but to help other people and to help our Latino community? Yeah, there is a need here that we can help with the talent we have. And I think since that moment in 2016, 2017, that's the main thing that we have been doing, helping other entrepreneurs, helping other Latino and Latina organizations and other minorities organizations as well to tell their stories.
I love it. And I think what it shows is really the power of community, el poder de la comunidad. For those folks who may not know about what program was mentioned, it's called the LBAN program, the Latino Business Association Network. They're actually part of our expo, so make sure to check them out and say hello and give them a lot of love. If you're definitely an entrepreneur that wants to get started and wants to continue, just like Alfonso and Ivette shared their stories, there's a moment of taking your unique gifts and being able to say, like, how do I put them to service? But at the same time, being able to build wealth for your own family and being able to continue to be sustainable. So that way you can continue to provide even more support and those capturing those stories. And today's theme was specifically all about owning our voices. We wanted to specifically center on the power of storytelling, because for too long, we see too many images that show the Latinx in different areas that sometimes are not true to the depth that we all have, right? And so I hope that you all got to see a chance of the complexity that we each have as individuals, just sharing your story. I hope that folks had an opportunity to see Ivette and Alfonso a little in a different light, right? Now, first of all, we're seeing you all in the front of the camera, which is special. And so I thank you for that, for sharing your stories and for also championing the community and being able to pay it forward and doing it with such humble heart. So, para la gente que está mirando, queríamos tener a Ivette y Alfonso porque ellos siempre están detrás de las cámaras contando esas historias lindas, pero ellos son profesionales, son entrepreneurs, pero al mismo tiempo son artistas que están con un corazón muy grande para la comunidad. Y con eso tengo una pregunta, one last question. Ya mi Spanglish está todo mezclado.
Dale.
¿Qué sería tu advice, tus recomendaciones para la juventud que quiere entrar en este negocio? What's your advice for the next gen that wants to come into this field? And knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself then? Sabiendo lo que saben ahora,
Claro.
¿qué le dirías a tu persona cuando eres más joven?
Okay. Bueno, in my case, thinking about my own story, learn at the beginning, try to learn of others, of other professionals, of other agencies, of other directors, and be always like aprendiz, like a beginner. Your mindset is like a growth mindset. You need to learn always. We never end to learn. This is important to grow. Today, this is our mindset. Learn every day. Learn every day to others. You never know enough.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, change your mindset in order to learn of every people, and then try to it's like live with the flow. It's my perspective of the life. Try to, it's like a radar. It's like you need to learn the ¿cómo se dice? The signals of the life. Maybe you are trying to go in this way, but the life is saying me that maybe this way is more fluently for me. And trata de tomar esas señales, no forzar nada. En mi caso, yo trato de no forzar nada en la vida. Yo intento, pero si siento que la vida me está diciendo, oye, ¿y qué tal por acá? Entonces trato de escuchar las señales y lo intento hacia donde la vida me va llevando un poco, ¿no? Y siento que de esa forma ha sido mi vida, ¿no? En un momento de mi vida yo quería ser cantante. Hoy digo, muy bien, la experiencia musical, but the life tenía otro path for me. At the end, try to learn about leadership, try to learn about know yourself, not only your skills, but for a leader, it's important to know yourself, your inside, your emotions, your ego, your all the inside life is important for the life, because maybe you are very talented, but nadie quiere trabajar contigo porque you are not human, you are not kind, and in the real life you need to work with people, you need to be human, and that is very important. Not only the talent, you need to know yourself, your inside. your emotions, your soul.
So you have to be a continuous learner. Be
Yeah.
humble, be kind. So then that way folks want to be able to build with you. Definitely, definitely. And Ivette, close us out. What's your advice and your takeaway for the folks who are watching that would be interesting?
I will say, I would like to say something for that younger me that arrived to this country 6 years ago. I remember that at that time I thought that I was starting from scratch. And reality is that no, I wasn't, because yes, maybe I was in a new country with a new language, with a new culture, but I also carry with me not only the two bags, but tons of experiences and a mindset, because I think immigrants have a different mindset, because most of the time you know that you don't have the chance to fail. You don't have that. You have to make it. No matter what it takes, you have to make it. But you are not starting from scratch. So learning to recognize our own journey and seeing the value there, I think it is super important in order to, hey, yeah, I'm new to this country. Maybe I'm struggling with the language, but I also have a story. I also have experience. I also have a talent to contribute to this country. So I think what Alfonso say is perfect. I just would like to add that.
That's beautiful.
Me tomó 6 años aprenderlo.
No, muy lindo y lindo, por como una familia de inmigrantes también, saber que no estamos empezando de nada, aunque a veces se siente, ¿no? Porque no tienes nada y material, pero de ahí puedes, pero lo que está aquí y lo que está aquí nadie te quita. Y con los blessings que tenemos de la gente que vino antes de nosotros y la comunidad, que es lo más importante para seguir progresando. Muchas gracias. So with that said, I hope you all enjoy this behind the scenes of LTX Quest, but specifically with the folks who help bring all this together. So I just want to make sure that we give and honor the time and the story and the talent of Ivette and Alfonso, who are always been working, not just 1 year, but for multiple years and across different organizations to be able to create space for our community, to be able to own our voices, which is the theme of today. And so with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next session. And thank you so much. And again, I see the congratulations on the Emmy. I see it right behind Alfonso. So we want to make sure you're recognized as well.
Thank you, Lily.
Muchas gracias, Alfonso y Ivette. But now we know que ustedes son los 3Lopez, pero oficialmente van a ser 3, o ya son 3, ¿no, Ivette?
Finally!
Pues sí, we have a surprise for you, baby Lopez.
Baby
Lopez growing here.
The 3Lopez is coming.
Lopez. So with that said,
coming.
With that said, thank you again so much. And you heard it here first. The 3Lopez is officially 3Lopez, and there's a baby on the way. So thank you all. Thank you so much again. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next session. Bye.